wake up in the morning and make a cup of coffee. You brush your teeth, take a shower, grab a bottle of water, and start off for your day. This is a typical morning routine for many people, including myself. But how mindless are we really being about the water we use? Can anyone in the audience tell me if it is possible to go throughout their day without utilizing water in some way, shape, or form? No. Though we may not always realize it, our accessibility to water in our day-to-day lives makes us extremely reliant on it to complete even the simplest of tasks. Unfortunately, the Central Valley, which Fresno occupies, has unsafe and contaminated water for a variety of different reasons, many of which can be prevented. Today, I will be discussing with you what causes our water to be unsafe and contaminated, byproduct of the Central Valley's booming agricultural and oil drilling industries, the drought in California, as well as the lack of legislation towards water usage. Now let's get a closer look at what has caused the Central Valley's water problems to arise. A large portion of the Central Valley's water contamination is caused by the agricultural and oil drilling industries. Because the main source of water collected is groundwater, many contaminants are found within it. According to the Community Water Center, 1.36 million Central Valley residents live in communities that are 100% reliant on tainted groundwater. Majority of the Central Valley's water contamination is caused by intensive agricultural and industrial activities such as the application of fertilizers and pesticides, large-scale animal feed operations, and mining. Some contaminants are also a result of naturally occurring processes in the groundwater. According to Pacific Standard Magazine, California is one of the last oil states in the nation to allow the use of unlined percolation ponds for produced water. Pond permits are under the purview of the state and regional water boards, which require operators to show that the industry of wastewater will not percolate down into freshwater reservoirs used for drinking for agriculture. The vast majority of these pits are actually found in the Central Valley. Andrew Grinberg, the National Campaign Special Projects Manager with the environmental group Clean Water Action, stated in the Pacific Standard, oil companies have dumped what they wanted and pretended that they aren't impacting our usable groundwater. The contaminants found in our water can also cause severe health issues. According to the Community Water Center, the most common contaminants found in the region's water supply are nitrates, arsenic, coliform bacteria, pesticides, disinfectant byproducts, and uranium. The most prevalent groundwater contaminant found in the valley is nitrate, an inorganic compound heavily produced for the agricultural industry use in fertilizers. Nitrate at the high, health-endangering levels found in the valley is generally known to be caused by 50 years of unchecked use of commercial fertilizers, unregulated and unprotected storage and disposal of animal waste in septic systems. At the elevated levels found in the Central Valley, nitrate can cause death in infants less than 6 months old in a matter of days and the birth of stillborn babies. It has also been linked to thyroid illnesses, reproductive problems, and some cancers, according to the Community Water Center. And up here is just a little interactive. You can actually go to this link and type in your area, and it shows you the percentile we're in for nitrate, and Fresno's in the 80th to 90th percentile for nitrate being found in water. Other known contaminants in the water in the Central Valley are arsenic, chlorine, dibromochloropropane, trihalomethanes, uranium, and 1,2,3-trichloropropane, which can all cause a variety of serious and lethal health effects when consumed over the legal limit. Now that we have learned about how the agricultural and oil drilling industries have contaminated our water, as well as what contaminants they have produced, let's see what else causes unhealthy water. California's drought has also caused the water to be contaminated. Lower levels of groundwater have caused it to become contaminated. Over the past century, groundwater levels in some places have fallen as much as 200 meters during drought conditions, and can also cause significant slumping in the land, according to the United States Geological Survey noted in an article by The Guardian. The same subsurface change in pressure can suck arsenic out of layers of clay into the groundwater like a sponge being squeezed, said Dr. Scott Fendorf, a professor of earth and science at Stanford University, stated in The Guardian. The drought most affected poorer communities who cannot afford to regulate their water. After the drought, the quality of water declined or remained poor for many households. This is in part due to persistent underfunding these primarily Latino and Latina communities, and in part due to San Joaquin Valley's intensive agricultural industry, according to simplewater.us. The area's water problems are compounded by the fact that much of the region is categorically defined as disadvantaged or very low income. This means that existing infrastructure and resources are often inadequate to tackle the massive problems they face. Dr. Ed Hernandez, senator from the 22nd District of California, stated in the Fresno Bee, "If we truly want California to shine as an example of progressive leadership, then we cannot allow people living in the valley to be treated like second-class citizens without access to clean drinking water. It is morally unconscionable that we have families living with contaminated water pouring from their taps. As human beings, we cannot survive, let alone thrive, without water. These families deserve clean water that is safe to use and safe to drink." His statement further supports the evidence given from simplewater.us. The Center for Poverty Research at UC Davis stated simply that funding improvements to rural water systems and accessibility, communicating the results to all community members would improve the lives of these underserved populations. Now that we have seen how the drought in California caused the Central Valley to have contaminated and unhealthy water, let's see what else could be causing this as well. Lack of legislation has also caused the issue of contaminated water to drag on far longer than it should have. Laws have not been enacted or enforced, which has allowed our water to go from questionable to unsafe within a matter of years. At least 6 million Californians are served by water providers that have been in violation of state standards at some point since 2012, according to the State Water Resources Control Board in the Sacramento Bee. Contaminated water has been acknowledged as a significant problem for decades. In 1995, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency said California needed $34 billion to clean up its drinking water supplies. 6 years ago, the legislature passed the Human Right to Water Act, which recognizes that everyone has the right to safe, clean, affordable, and accessible water adequate for human consumption, cooking, and sanitary purposes. The law is only 1 page long and doesn't appropriate any money or levy any taxes to fund its actual declaration. Many of our water suppliers do not meet safety requirements but continue to service unhealthy water. According to the Sacramento Bee, California has 3,015 independent water systems. As of May, 269 of these suppliers were out of compliance with the state drinking water standards. Of those 269 water systems, 141 are found in 5 counties of the San Joaquin Valley: Stanislaus, Madera, Fresno, Tulare, and Kern. In the valley, 185,000 residents are served water by system deemed out of compliance with the state water board, according to the Sacramento Bee. Small agencies account for about 80% of the citations the state water board issues every year. Many are operated by a single employee or volunteers, yet they are required to perform the same duties as well-funded municipal water districts with dozens of staff members serving tens of thousands of people. The Sacramento Bee stated that SB 88, passed in 2015, gives the state water board the authority to force small distress systems to merge with well-financed municipal water agencies, which are almost always in extreme proximity. But only a handful of mergers have actually taken place since this bill has been passed. Now that we have seen how lack of legislation has caused the Central Valley to have unhealthy water, let's recap what we discussed earlier. Today, I demonstrated to you a few causes of the Central Valley's contaminated and unhealthy water. First was the byproduct of the Central Valley's booming agricultural and oil drilling industries. Second was the drought in California, and finally was the lack of legislation towards our water usage. So the next time you go to wash your hands, boil water for pasta, or fill up a glass of water to drink, consider what harmful contaminants you could unknowingly be exposing yourself to. Now we're going to have Grace come in and talk about the possible implementations we could be making to solve this issue. Thank you.